Alright guys, welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my review of The Strangers Prey at Night. This one came out in 2018. It's starring Bailee Madison, Lewis Pullman, Christina Hendricks, and Martin Henderson, and was directed by Johannes Roberts. Man oh man guys, so I have only ever seen this movie one other time. And it was back in 2018 when it was released. And upon first watch, I really liked it. I thought, I knew what to expect. I had heard some things about it, and some people really liked the decision to go in the direction they did, and some people fucking really didn't. And I remember enjoying it. I thought it was a little jarring, to say the least, but I liked it. So I was really curious how I was going to react on just my second watch. You guys know already. Besides the ending, which is the last 5-ish minutes of the original Strangers, I fucking really like the original Strangers, man. I think it's a down and dirty, gritty, fucking raw horror movie. I really enjoy it. Then we get to this one. And I'm making it sound like I don't like this movie, and that's not the case. I would say I like probably 90% of this movie. I feel like the core protagonists, the family, are fucking really awesome. I feel like they have a really good relationship with one another. I feel like the performance, they don't have a good relationship with each other, but they feel real. They feel like a real legit family, which I thought was cool. And I really like the killers as well in this. I feel like the three people performing these roles, in this one did just as good of a job as the three actors in the original. Moving on. I really enjoyed that. I feel like they maintain that gritty, realistic feel for the most part in this. And what I mean by that is, number one, there's just some things that the characters do in this movie that just doesn't feel legit. And now, let me start off, before anyone starts typing away, let me explain. I am not a person who just shits on a horror movie because, oh my god, the characters are so stupid. You have to expect that with certain movies. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's not a flaw. But when you let that ruin horror movie after horror movie after horror movie after horror movie after horror movie, you maybe pick a different genre. Because it's going to happen a lot, man. And you're going to find yourself not liking a lot of shit. So for the most part, and obviously if it's just insulting my intelligence, then that's a different story. But I can suspend my disbelief in most horror movies and just accept that, okay, these characters just aren't making the best decisions in the world. And another thing you have to say, too, is I know this is a little side tangent, but I always hear the side tangent, oh my god, just run. Or, oh my god, just do this or do that. Like, oh my god, why aren't you doing this? And I always say this, if you are in a situation, a deadly fucking situation, like you're facing a killer face to face or what have you, different people are going to react in different ways. Some people go into temporary paralysis and they fucking can't do anything. They literally freeze. So the whole, oh my god, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? That always has bugged the shit out of me. And because people just aren't, you don't think clearly when you're in a situation like that. You're gonna make stupid decisions and you're gonna fucking fuck up unless you're trained for combat or something like that. If you're just a regular fucking person, which is the people in this movie and most horror movies are, you're not gonna think clearly and you're not going to act correctly all the time. It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, that's my whole stance on, horror movie logic. To me, it's not a big deal. Except when you're making a direct sequel. Not a direct sequel. You can watch this one without having watched the first one and be fine. And if that's your situation, you're probably not even going to really care about a lot of the shit in this movie, except for one part that's just, no matter what, infuriating. When you're going directly off of a gritty, raw, visceral fucking horror movie, and you kind of take some of that realism away, it doesn't work for me. I feel like if you're going to make a sequel to The Strangers, have it match up. I feel like you could have totally 100% done this movie just fine without having the stupid shit in it. There's just some decisions in this movie that I don't understand. And again, I'm making it sound like I just straight up don't fucking like this movie. That's not the case. We're going to gush about a lot of this stuff because I really, really like a lot of the stuff in this movie. But there's a huge little chunk that doesn't make any sense. There's a couple of chunks of this movie where I'm just like, and it feels weird because I feel like I'm being one of those snobby, like, film student, which I was, critics. I feel weird nitpicking this stuff because it's stuff I usually don't give a shit about. But again, like I said, and I'm rambling now, when you are making a sequel to a very gritty, raw, realistic horror movie, you shouldn't be doing this stuff. And don't you worry your pretty little head. If anything, you should have just watched the movie by this point if you're watching this review. And if you haven't, don't let it get spoiled for you, man. Go check it out. It's a fucking cool movie. But yeah, man, I don't agree with some of this creative decisions they made in this one. It just, I wouldn't say it ruins the movie for me or anything, but it's noticeable. And the problems I had with The Strangers, it's magnetized now in The Strangers Prey at Night. That being said, I really like certain elements of the change here. I love that this just feels like a old school slasher movie in certain regards, while still, for a good amount of the movie, still maintaining that similar feeling you had in the original of holy fuck, this could really happen. And speaking of like 80s slashers and stuff, this movie is 80s out, dude. I fucking love the music they picked for this movie. Oh my god, it's so fucking great. Hearing some of the tracks I heard in this movie, obviously I did not grow up in the 80s. I was born in 97, which would make me 24, if anyone's wondering. But I really, really liked some of that stuff. I'm a big 80s mark, so I always pop when I hear certain songs and stuff like that. And yeah, man, I thought, they implemented music in the first one very effectively. I think they do that well here as well. So like I said, man, there's a lot of stuff in this movie that I really, really like. There's just some shit in it that I'm like, and we're going to get all into it, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the spoiler section. Let's spoil the shit out of this motherfucker. Stick around. All right, spoiler time. Your ass has been warned. Now, we have Bailee Madison here, who she's probably one of the most underrated actresses, at least in my opinion. I do not hear people talk about her a whole lot. I think it's a shame because she's fucking awesome. She was great in this. I just watched Brothers a couple weeks ago, which she was drastically younger in that than she is here. And even then, as like a little girl, she was fucking great. So yeah, big Bailee Madison fan. Her brother and her mom and dad, mother being played by the absolutely lovely Christina Hendricks. I have quite the thing for Christina Hendricks. Anyways, moving on. So we have the family in this, and it's established very quickly. First of all, the daughter is going to boarding school. She's been misbehaving. She has been doing some not great shit. We never really get to find out what it is, but she fucked up pretty bad, it seems like. And so she's being sent off to boarding school. And I really, really like the way the actors in this performed. It really does feel like a family that, yes, is going through quite the shitstorm, to say the least. But you still get the sense that they really, really do care about each other. It's not like characters who are just arguing and fighting and fuck you, fuck you, fuck you all the time. Very much like the original. You can tell that these people still really, really love and care about each other. It's a really realistic depiction of a family going through issues. I always hate when, some families are like this, unfortunately, but it's rare to find that sort of thing where it's just like, just big blow up fights all the fucking time. It's not realistic. I know I'm speaking for myself, and unfortunately that's not always the case, but I really, really like the way they depict the characters in this, and they all feel very real and very relatable. And so when inevitably, spoiler section, sorry, when the parents get killed off, it's fucking heartbreaking, dude. I didn't react like I usually react to horror deaths, where either I'm like, oh shit, or like, if it's like a Friday the 13th movie, I'm like cheering, but no, man, you don't get that typical horror fan reaction from me with these kills, because you genuinely feel bad for these characters. I'm gushing a lot about it, but I really, really liked how the family was portrayed in this. So yeah, they are going out to their aunt and uncle's trailer to spend the weekend or spend the night or whatever, and just have one quality night away, family night, whatever you want to call it, before daughter gets sent off to boarding school and son gets sent off to college. And yeah, man, I I really, really like the setting in this. I think the trailer park setting doesn't get utilized enough in horror. Obviously I don't want it overdone. I don't think any setting should be overdone, but like, that's one of those settings, man, that I'm like, God, I really, really, really like. It's just, it feels super intimate while also being very open. Obviously when you're outside in the trailer park, there's a lot of space you can play around with, and a lot of fun shit you can do in the trailer park in a horror movie. And they utilize it a lot here, dude. I really like, when, unfortunately, poor Christina Hendricks gets stabbed in the back a couple times by Dollface, and her daughter has climbed up through the window and actually sees it fucking happen. It's heart-wrenching, dude. I'm overselling a little bit because I like Christina Hendricks. But anyways, but now, man, just climbing up on the roofs, you know what I mean. There's a scene where daughter gets stabbed in the leg, brother's trying to, I know people are probably pissed off that I'm not calling them by their names. I'm sorry. It's just, sorry. Patching her leg up, she just got stabbed, and one of the fucking strangers mows through the wall of the trailer with his truck, and I'm like, holy fuck. It's really, really cool. One little flaw I had with it, there's like nobody else there. Early on, the brother and the sister, they find their aunt and uncle, who have been fucking brutally dispatched. I think the uncle's like missing his jaw and shit. It's like, oh my god. It's almost too gory for the strangers, because they're usually very quick and, I shouldn't say quick, but they're very to the point, I should say. They're not very flashy, so this was weird to me. But it was still fucking crazy just to find them like that. And But besides them, there's nobody else in the trailer park. I feel like, number one, and I say that I have a problem with it, but at the same time, that's kind of the Strangers' MO, is they're not really into big crowds, and they like very isolated locations. So, that's a dumb thing to say on my part, I guess. But I think it would have been cool to have at least a couple people running around there who weren't related to the family. But anyways, man, I totally understand the decision not to do that. But yeah, man, I love the trailer park setting. And again, the strangers are fucking great in this movie, dude. I really, really like Pinup Girl, and that scene she has where sister's hiding in the tunnel, and she's fucking like, Sackhead's out there in the truck, has his headlights bearing in on her. Great use of lighting there with the brake lights peering into the tunnel. Then you get the regular headlights just flashing right on her. She's like, "Why are you?" She said, "Just leave us alone." And I think the Pinup Girl comes out of the shadows, and it's just like, "We've only just begun," or something like that. It's like, oh, it's so fucking creepy. There's a lot of good stuff like that, man. We get Dollface in the beginning again as Tamara Home, which I love that callback as well. But I really, really enjoyed them. There's some shit at the end there that I'm not a big fan of, but I really, really liked it. I know we're jumping around. It's not nearly as much of a story rundown as it usually is. Not to say it's ever a story rundown, for real. But you know what I mean. We're jumping all around, man. I'm excited to talk about this. I'm really just getting my positives out of the way because, again, there's a lot of stuff I like in this movie. I love the, probably my favorite scene in this movie is the pool scene. Just the whole sequence of the brother stabbing the shit out of Pinup Girl. And, he goes to town on her too, dude, because he tries to just knock her out. And then I guess he goes to take the mask off, which that's like, again, I'm totally being a hypocrite and like nitpicking shit, but I'm like, who gives a shit who's under the mask? Fucking go. But he knocks her out, supposedly, tries to take the mask off. She grabs him, and then he just starts stabbing the fucking shit out of her. And yeah, man, again, it was crazy. It's like they kill the strangers in this movie. So I guess we're not going to get any Strangers movies anymore unless they do. I say that, but I'm sure they could do a number of fucking sequels. Oh, well, this was in between the Strangers movies, or this was like their origin of them, or fucking whatever. So I say that, but there might be more. There's definitely room for there to be more. But as far as the timeline goes, man, this is it for them, dude. They all fucking die in this movie. Like, straight up, no debate, fucking die. But yeah, stabs the shit out of Pinup Girl. And then we get Sackhead coming through, who just is swinging this axe at him, and they dive in the pool, and they fucking fight in there, and ends with the brother getting stabbed in the back just once, which, again, will start to lean into my negatives. The strangers are supposed to be super efficient, effective killers, which they are very effective in this movie. But Sackhead just has a habit of just leaving people alive when they very well are probably still alive. Which in this case he was, and he survives the movie. And it's like, dude, if you just would have fucking stabbed him a couple more times or done whatever, he would have been fucking done for, dude. He would have been dead. Stabs him once, just leaves him there. It's like, I get it. You want him to suffer. You want him to bleed out. You didn't really anticipate the sister to show up and save him. But just seems a little sloppy, man. And it's Sackhead both times. Both of the chicks are fucking, they're on it. But something about Sackhead, man, he just gets a little lazy towards the end of these movies, I guess. But yeah, and we'll get into Sackhead, because holy shit, he just becomes Jason at the end of this movie. But anyways, man, and that's probably my biggest, not my biggest, but it's a pretty sizable negative for me. There's just some weird character work in this. And again, I'm not the type of person to just nitpick every little bad decision. Oh, why don't you run that way? Oh, the door's open. It's like, dude, just let it play out. Just have fun. But I gotta be a little bit of a critic sometimes, I guess. But probably, the Sackhead thing, at least that's consistent. He's just stupid, I guess, sometimes. But easily the worst. I would say that and what I'm about to talk about here. The other shit, whatever. I'm not, there's a scene where, they go into an open door in the cabin. Shit like that I'm cool with. That has to move the plot forward. Natural curiosity and stuff like that. That's all fine. Really, it's the Sackhead thing, and this, what I'm about to talk about, was the fucking worst bit of it. So, at this point, both of the parents are dead. Very heart-wrenching death scenes for both of them, too. The daughter having to watch the mom die after they've been fighting so much, and it's like, oh my god, it's rough. And then, the husband / father and the son getting in that car wreck, and the fucking beam coming out of him, and he just tells his son, he's like, you gotta get out of here. Son's like, I'm gonna bring back help, and he's like, yeah, okay, but he knows he's fucked. He's like, he's done. So it's super, super sad shit, and both of these kids have to witness essentially their parents die by the hand of these fucking killers. So when the dad tells him to leave, he gives him a gun, shows him how to use it. We get kind of a one last big, because this guy is just a dorky, corny dad at the end of the day. He plays a very dorky dad very, very well. Martin Henderson is awesome in this movie. And he just gives one last, you do this, yada, yada, yada. Okay. You gotta go. And it's sad, man. And so, that your parents are dead by the hand of these killers. So then, the brother saves the sister. She gets stabbed in the leg, which we talked about a little bit before. She gets stabbed in the leg by Dollface. So she's limping. She's about to stab him. The brother comes in with the gun, pointing it at Dollface. Here's my thing. And again, I'm not a nitpicker typically, so no one, you're nitpicking. No, I'm not. This is stupid. If I had full knowledge that you had anything to do with my mom or my dad being killed, and I have a gun in your face, there's no hesitation. Or anyone I care about for that matter, there's no hesitation. There's no dilemma. There's no moral dilemma. There's no, this makes me just as bad as you. No, fuck that, you're dead. And I feel like a majority of people, obviously in that situation, you're scared. Obviously, you're gonna tense up and lock up. I understand that. But he had her dead to fucking rights. There is no logical reason. Oh, he froze up. Oh, he was scared. Oh, he didn't want to stoop to their level, even though he does in a couple scenes anyways. Yada, 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 yada. You can't give me that shit, man. You just can't. There's no feasible reason for it. He just tells his sister to run, and they run away, and they leave her to live. And the sister was even like in this scene, she's like, fucking give me the gun. I'll take the fucking gun. I'll blow her goddamn head off. Give it to me. And it's funny that she was saying that because later on, she fucking does. She has the opportunity, and she does not hesitate. Really. Yeah, no. There's like a slight bit of like, oh my god, I'm going to kill you. Boom! Fucking kills her. It's great. Speaking of that scene, I love that scene. She hits her once in the chest, comes out, and we get kind of a callback to the original where she's looking at her and she's like, why are you... She takes the mask off of her, and we actually, for the first time, get a plain view of one of the stranger's faces. And it's the only one we get, because we don't see Pinup Girl and we don't see Sackhead. But yeah, she's like, why are you doing this to us? And, It's not as great of a line as you were home in the first one, but I really, really like it still. She's like, "Why are you doing this?" And she just goes, "Why not?" Awesome shit, man. Really, really, really fucking cool stuff. And she goes, "Why not?" And fucking then she's like, "Yeah, okay, why not?" And fucking blows her away. That was a good scene, man. I really, really liked that. It was very satisfying to see that, especially after that brother made that fucking boneheaded decision. It's maybe it's part of his character or whatever. I'm sure if you want to give an excuse to it, you can. I'm not going to, though, because that's like, if anything, it's just to protect yourself. Who gives a fuck if you're scared? If I'm scared of somebody and like they're gonna kill me and I have the opportunity to kill them first, yeah, I'm killing them. But moving on. So we get to the ending. Brother gets stabbed in the pool. Sister rescues him. We're not sure if he's going to live or not. But he's just kind of chilling by the pool. She runs off, is pursued by Dollface. Pinup Girl's already dead at this point because the brother killed her. She kills Dollface, as we just mentioned. And then we get to Sackhead. I really, really liked the initial death of Sackhead. He's ramming into the car. Dollface kills the one cop that the sister was trying to get help from. Then, like I said, kills Dollface. Then she's hiding in the car, and fucking Sackhead, he's the only one left now, just keeps ramming into the car and eventually gets stuck in the other car. Like the bumper gets fucking, I don't fucking know, it's car shit. We all know I'm not the best with car shit. So, so he ends up getting stuck and gas is leaking out of of one of the cars. And the sister takes her lighter, and while the Sackhead's just looking, because he knows he's fucked, he's looking at her just fucking pissed off because he knows he lost. And she throws the lit lighter on the gas and fucking blows him away. Fucking great ending, man. Great ending. Great way to kill off the last stranger. Go fucking, this human being, go fucking get your brother. Curtains, man. Good shit. But then, and mind you, I think all of the stuff I'm about to bitch about was done well. I think it was done very well. Just the shot of her running, or not running, because she's, basically out one leg. Walking away or limping away. And we get that flaming car just slowly backing up and going towards her. Which, if you're alive after that, and that's the thing. In the original Strangers, and in this movie as well, they're fucking human beings. These killers are human beings. They're just normal fucking people. That's what makes the movies so scary, is that they're just regular Joes who anyone could just, as Dollface said, why not? They just decided to start killing people. That's what makes them so fucking scary. So to have this almost supernatural element, I don't give a fuck how tough you are. You ain't surviving that shit, dude. That car blew up. Yes, the visual of that flaming truck going towards her is very, very cool. And if this would have been just some normal hokey slasher movie, I would have been cool with it. But it's like, this is The Strangers, and there's clearly established things with these characters. But fucking whatever. So yeah, it's fucking, the truck's going towards her. I love the shot of her just crawling away, dragging her leg. And eventually the guy gets out and he has a piece of glass stuck in him and he fucking takes it out. He's all bloody. Love the movements and the hands shaking and all that's very, very well done. Still, none of that would be happening if you just blew up in a car. You'd be very still and very all over the place too. But now he is very much still together. And he takes it out, falls down, dies. I'm like, okay. Does not make sense. I don't really like it too much, but fine. Okay, now he's dead. She ends up hitching a ride or attempting to hitch a ride from a mom and her son. And she's starting to go towards her. The mom, I mean, is starting to go towards this this young girl, obviously very concerned, and quickly backs up and gets right the fuck back in her truck. Because Sackhead's back again. And I'm like, boy, what the fuck now? He died twice. What the hell's going on, man? And that being said, you know, we get an awesome callback. In my opinion, it's definitely a callback to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's no way it isn't. Of her hopping in the back of the mom's truck and her speeding off. And this guy's quicker than Leatherface, and he fucking blew up. So come on, Leatherface, step the game up. He actually latches to the back of the truck, and then she finally kills him. You know, and we'll get into all that here in the Kill of the Film section. But I look at that, and I'm just like, huh? This human being, this normal fucking guy, blew up. Nothing weird or supernatural happened with the other two strangers. They just straight up died. And he just kept living. And finally, what takes him out. Again, all of it's very well done, very well shot, very, you know, it's cool. But in the realm of the strangers, it just doesn't really make sense to me. It's a problem, man. And again, I really, really like a lot of this movie. But that shit is like... Again, I fully plan on... I don't know why I just spit so much right there. I fully plan on going back at some point, watching this with a couple buddies. It's a fun movie, dude. It really, really is. And, you know, if I don't have my analytic, that's too big of a word for me. If I don't have my critic brain on, I can just kick back and enjoy this. I can do that with a lot of movies. Not all, but a good amount. This is one of them. But again, when I just look at it and I look at the film that came before, and I look at the rules and everything that this universe has set up, it doesn't add up for me, man. But yeah, guys, that being said, she ends up getting her brother to the hospital. They get help from another passerby or something. And we get kind of a weird ending where she's just has a cup of water. Brother's, I would imagine, critical condition because he bled a lot. But he's alive. And they're the two survivors of the movie. So she's standing there and we hear knock, knock on the door. And I look at that, I'm like, what? Why would that have any significance to her? Because I don't think she was in the trailer when the Is Tamara home thing happened. So I don't know why that would bother her so much. Maybe it's just general PTSD, or I don't fucking know. But I don't think that knocking would have any significance, because I think it was just the parents that answered the door, and they're both dead. So, and that's a nitpick. That's like a fucking, you know, thing. But it is noticeable. But are they trying to imply that one of the strangers is there? Or, like, she just drops the water and the movie ends? I'm like, okay. It seemed a little tacked on. I didn't really feel like you needed it. I feel like you could have just had her and her brother limp off and catch a ride from somebody, and that'd be it. You know? But, you know, I'm bitching a lot. But this stuff definitely has to be said. Because it doesn't add up with the whole strangers mystique to me. Sorry. Again, really, really like this one, guys, for the most part. But there's some shit in it that if you're a continuity, I shouldn't say purist, because I like the Friday the 13th series. But if you're big in the continuity and just shit making sense. Some of the stuff in this one's going to piss you off a little bit. But I'd say for the most part, 100%, check this out, man. It's really, really fun. Just kick back, turn your brain off. I would even say if you'd rather just watch more of a slasher movie than a gritty, realistic horror movie, just watch Strangers Prey at Night, because you really don't need to know anything about the first one to enjoy this. So yeah, man. With that being said, guys, that'll do it for the review portion of the video. But you know what we gotta do now, baby? We gotta get into the blood, the guts, and the gory bits. We gotta get into my Kill the Film. Stick around. All in all, the Strangers Prey at Night is a flawed but very fun slasher flick, man. I really like this one. And I call it a slasher flick, not just because of general... for the most part, it feels like one. Still maintaining that sense that the original Strangers had of like, oh my god, this could really happen. But there's definitely more of an 80s slasher vibe in soundtrack and kills, man. This one has some pretty fucking gnarly kills in it. Nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy, but I fucking really, really liked them, man. And again, that's another thing that transfers from the original to this. The kills are not outlandish. They're not fucking crazy. They're a little more flashy in this one than they were in the previous, but they're still maintaining that realistic line, which, again, with the ending, gets just pissed away. But yeah, man, let's just go through them real quick, and then we'll get to the best one. We'll save the best for last. Really, really liked the scenes, the respective scenes of each parent dying. Again, very heart-wrenching, very heartbreaking. Christina Hendricks gets I know her character has a name, obviously, but she's just Christina Hendricks. Come on now. She gets the knife to the back a couple times, just stab, and her daughter's having to see it, and it's like, oh god. And yeah, you could say it's a bland kill, but it's like, it's more about the emotion in that scene that impacts me. And yes, it would still pack an emotional punch, even if it wasn't Christina Hendricks. Moving on. And then the dad getting killed. He already has that fence post in his side, which just looks fucking brutal. And then, the son runs off, and I love just the scene of the sackhead stranger just slowly kind of lumbering up. Just casually just getting in the car and sitting. Turns on the radio, whatever. Meanwhile, the dad's screaming at him, like, please don't kill me. Just basic stuff you'd be requesting. Like, just, you motherfucker, all this shit, just yelling at him, yada, yada, yada. Just slowly looks at him, has a screwdriver, and just, whoop, just right in the fucking gullet. Leaves it there for a little while, stares into his face, pulls it out, and he just bleeds out. I'm like, oh my god. Again, very gritty, brutal shit here. Loved all three of the strangers' deaths as well. They get the coolest deaths in the movie for me. Obviously, pinup girl getting the shit stabbed out of her a bunch. And I think Lewis Pullman does a fucking great job of just this guy who really doesn't want to kill. As stupid as the decision may have been, I guess I get it, but it just, to me, I don't understand it. I feel like you fucking killed my family, you're gonna die. Straight up, end of story. But he goes through with it here, stabs the shit out of pinup girl, just multiple, boom, 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 kills the hell out of her. Really good stuff there. Again, basic, but effective. What was fucking crazy, though, was Dollface's kill. Just getting shot right in the chest, talking a little more shit, and there's just this wide shot. Bailey Madison just taking the shotgun and just blowing her the fuck away. I would say it's a headshot, but it's more like in this region. At least it looked like it. fucking wild kill, man. Again, you know, not flashy, but fucking awesome. A great, great kill. All that's really, really good, but to me, man, no doubt about it in my mind, kill of the film is gonna go to Sackhead. Yes. Is it realistic? Does it fit this series? Fuck no. But straight ball bat right to the fucking head, and you get all of it. Practical effects, beautiful, just thunk. Oh, dude, it was. I had already seen this movie before, and it's still, I was like, oh, fuck! Just a straight hit right to the head. And yeah, man, if you get hit in the head like that, obviously, in his case, he should have been dead already. But yeah, if you get hit in the head like that, dude, if you're not dead, you're never gonna be the same. So fitting that would finally fucking kill him, but just a brutal, basic bare bones as you get. But holy shit, just the sight of that bat just pop. Oh my god, fucking ruled. God, I'm fucked up. Anyways, moving on. Well, guys, that'll fucking do it for The Strangers Pray at Night. I hope you enjoyed this little mini-series we did doing The Strangers movies. Overall, I really like them. You know, I have my problems with both of them, but I would absolutely pop these in again, and I recommend you do too. Next time on Days of Darkness, we're going to be going back a little bit. We've been doing a lot of modern horror recently. Or somewhat modern. I act like 2008 is modern, is fucking 13 years ago now, I think. I'm not good at math. Anyways. Which is fucking weird to think about. But anyways, we've been doing a lot of newer stuff. We're going to take it back to a little bit, man. And we're going to look at, in my personal opinion, one of Wes Craven's best movies. We're going to look at The People Under the Stairs. Very, very, very excited to see this again, man. I fucking really like this movie. Spoiler alert, it's a movie I enjoy. But yeah, man. So I'm really, really excited for that. Also, stay tuned. Halloween day or night, depending on when it goes up. It's time for the major fucking announcement. Halloween night, October 31st. I'm not going to ramble. You guys are going to really like it. But anyways, with that being said, as always, take care of each other and keep watching horror. All right, guys. Have a good day.